Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Christoph Riemer. I'm from the German company HAWE Hydraulics, located in Munich, in the southern part of Germany. And there I'm the head of pricing, head of corporate pricing. And in the next 30 minutes, I would like to talk about how we see the pricing world at HAWE. Okay, and therefore I've prepared something. So maybe, first of all, I'm not sure who of you is familiar with Daniel Kahneman and his book, Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow. Okay, so, within his book, he has a theory about that our brain has two systems. So within our brain, there are two systems. And just let me explain shortly, what does it mean? There's just maybe two examples. First example is, your youngest child, maybe first or second grade, comes to you and needs some help for his math homeworks. Okay? So, and then the tasks are like 1 multiplied by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, and so forth. So the easy stuff. And you're quite easily to assist him. So intuitive and instinctively you know the results of his questions, of the task of this math homework. You're like in the autopilot mode. Your brain knows the results easily and you can help your children. And after maybe 10 minutes or so, the exercise is done, your child is happy, you are happy. And then maybe a few days later, your eldest child is coming. Math homeworks as well. He is maybe in the 8th grade, close to high school. So, and then you see the first task. The question is, okay, what is the result of 215 multiplied by 166? Your first reaction, where's my calculator? But no calculator for math homeworks. You have to do it manually, together with your child. So now you have to go down all the way manually to come up with the result, which takes you a lot of effort. Your brain is calculating, you go down, and maybe after 30, 35 minutes, you have done the homeworks as well. But during that time, your brain always telling you, hey, grab the calculator, calculating it. It's easy, but you have to stick without doing it without calculator. So at that particular time, with your older children, your brain was always in the second mode, which you need rational thinking, which takes you effort. Of course, it's longer, it takes longer. So, and we as human are like to be working in the first system, because it's much more easier, it's fast, it's associated, like an autopilot. Okay. And maybe having that in mind, and we got now going down to pricing, where I'm living. For years, the economy assumed individuals, like we all here, behave like the guy here on the left side. Mr. Spock, like an Homo economicus, which is a complete rational behavior. There is no emotion in it. Everything follows a clear path. The assumption is the guy has a full market transparency. He knows everything about the market, about the competitors. Everything is clear to him. And of course, he strives for profit or either benefit maximization. That means every decision he's made is clearly dedicated to either profit or benefit maximization. And of course, the decision he's made is always following the fixed set of preferences. There's no changes in it. And maybe for the younger, maybe for the younger generation in this room, today the guy is looking like this, just to be sure that everybody knows this guy. Okay, but in the meantime, the guy on the left has been replaced by a more, valid model of human behavior or human choice, and this is this guy. It's Homer Simpson, like a role model of the Homo heuristicus, like from the behavioral pricing. This guy, his decisions are steered by emotion. The emotional behavior is driving his decision. He is irrational as not following rational decisions. Of course, he knows somehow something about the market, but there's still a lack. And of course, he has the acceptance for pricing, to say, okay, I'm accepting the price the vendor or the salesman is giving to me. And of course, he has different factors, motives, which influences his behavior. It's not only that he has a fixed set of references. It's changing from decision to decision. So, and just having what Kahneman, and just, the guy on the left is this 5% guy. Now he's using system 2. And the guy on the right side, Homer Simpson, is this 95% guy, always working with system 1. Of course he can do system 2 as well, but try to avoid this. And now it gets even more interesting. Just thinking we are only one, we have only one personality, and we cannot act differently or only limited differently between a private and our business environment. So if we assume that an emotional and irrational behavior based on different patterns in a private life will also steer our behavior in business life. We are the same person, and we are same what we're doing in private, we are doing business as well. And what is interesting, in business, it gets even worse. Just assume you have a bunch of Homer Simpsons sitting in a meeting room. So, and there was already in 1895 a French writer called Gustave Le Bon, who wrote a book, Psychology of the Mass. And within this book, he said, if as more people you put in a room, as less logical will the outcome be. There will be a lack of judgment, and of course there will be a lack of critical thinking, critical mind. So, and just why I'm telling you that. So it's just, this is the last 3 slides. This is just what drives me in the last years of pricing. To say, okay, we are all humans, we all doing decisions which are not rational and so far and so on. And this is the reality between this private and this business Homer Simpson. I do ask myself, why? Why should the rules of pricing be different between business to business and business to customer, when there's always a person or even the same person behind? So if I can manipulate the private one, I can manipulate the business one as well. So, and therefore I asked myself, should it be called the B2P pricing, the business to people pricing? And just as a first starting point, by just following a bit of this thing here, I had discussions with other colleagues and so far and so on. And in order to going in this direction, we looked into several selective topics at my company. How HAWE is doing things. How I did things maybe in the past when I was working for other companies like Volkswagen, for example. Or how other companies in the business B2C sector are doing things. So then we just came up with a list where we said, okay, so this is just, you see then here some points, and on the right side you see HAWE, our company, and then we just say, okay, what we are doing, what our competitor, what companies from the B2C sector, or even what I did from the previous past. So we as HAWE, for example, we're using a CRM system, which is Salesforce, only for, I do think 4 years now, and we're still in a learning curve. And we're storing customer information, but honestly, not really for a purpose of using this data so far. So, but on the B2C segment, customer data are alive. And even what is the funny thing is, we as customers maintaining our data in the CRM system of Amazon by our own, because we keep our account up to date. In our B2B world, we have to do this by our own. So further, what we observe or what we see is we're still announcing annual price increases. Last year, even it was 4 or 5 times. I do think you're all familiar with the inflation last year and the volatility. And I never received a letter from my car, from from Volkswagen where I have a car, that they increased the prices. They just do it. They don't doing it. Maybe they just putting a notice on a website or whatever, but they don't sending out mailings to the customer. We don't do this at Volkswagen. Further, we at HAWE, we love to maintain discounts. We put them into the ERP, standard discount, discount matrix, product-specific discounts. We love them to put them into the system and even extending them. We love this. And once in the system, they stay there forever. Even if the customer is not existing anymore, they are staying in the system. Further, when it comes to pricing and to price setting, we at HAWE, we don't use customer data. We're just using the list price, fixed discount, and it says, but what kind of customer is behind, we were not using in the past. And another point was, or is, we fixing the prices for 12 months. Now we're making an announcement that the prices were stable for 12 months, and that's it. And within this period, it's not allowed, if you ask our sales guys, it's not allowed to change the prices because we announced them. And what is even funny and interesting to see is, nobody of you would just placing an order for a jacuzzi without knowing the price. If you go to the vendor, just checking out, just make some comparison. We observed at our company that customers just placing an order because they know they get some kind of discount because we trained them even. And finally, and this is even one interesting point, as we have maintained some fixed discounts, a customer who has never purchased some product is always getting the same discount. When we maintain a discount for the most common product of him, but if he's ordering something different he has never purchased before, he's getting exactly this discount. Either nevertheless if it's 40% or 50%, he is getting this. Even doesn't if it makes sense or not. So this was the logic from us. So, and based on these points here, we then say, okay, what have we to do in order to make it different? And therefore, we came up with some initiatives within our company. First of all, we deleted 50,000 price points of our ERP system, from 50,000 to 0. So even standard product-related discounts, we just erased them. And we transfer everything when it comes to quote and quoting process into our CRM system Salesforce. This is worldwide unique, and in combination with Pros, we're now having a unique worldwide standardized quoting process. So, thirdly, the CRM data we try to improve. We make a clear statement to our Salesforce and to our sales reps that the data in CRM have to be well maintained. And I do think all of you know data quality is an issue. Having the right data is one point, having the right data quality is another point. But nevertheless, now the CRM data in Salesforce and the data we do have in CPQ, in the Pro Smart CPQ, which we are using, are now the single source of truth when it comes to pricing. So therefore, we're breaking free from SAP. And when we're talking nowadays in our company about pricing, we have only two ways. Either the customer is really asking. If you're not asking for a product, he will not get it order. So you have to ask for a quote. And then, of course, based on the guidance we are using, he gets the right price based on the customer elements and based on the segmentation we're having at the moment. And the other way is we're using sales agreement as well from Pros. And within the sales agreement, we have the product the customer is asking for, and therefore for a certain period they are fixed. And then, of course, it comes to a renewal or whatever during the year. But this is the pricing at HAWE, how it's looking today. And if we, of course, we store some data in our ERP system, but only for order processing. Because when a customer has a sales agreement price, that means he's just placing the orders frequently, and in order to make sure that he gets the same prices, we have to store them in the ERP system, but only for order processing, nothing else. So the ERP system is only a receiving tool for us, because everything else happens and takes place in the CRM system. And one funny thing for me, but a big change for organization is we're just changing the wording. We're still sending out pricing letters, unfortunately, but we're changing the wording. First of all, we're not communicating any ending date. We're just saying from the beginning onwards, so no ending date at the end. Second, we don't say, in the past we say we increase the prices exactly by. And now we say, okay, we will increase an average, product-specific, minimum, whatever. So the wording has been changed in order to give us a freedom towards the customer to increase the prices even differently when it comes even to quoting, for example, or for amending or renewing of sales agreement. And of course, what are we going to do as well? This communication of price adjustments in the future, we will stop somehow. At a certain point, we will only make communications to these customers where we do have agreements, because therefore it's a good, let's say, tool for our sales rep to have some official communication. But this is the only group of customers who have receiving some communication in terms of price adjustment. And secondly, we try, of course, to implement the Gen 4 guidance, and therefore we will increase the number of customer information, first of all in our CRM system at all, that we have more and add data of our customers in our CRM system. And secondly, then of course we will use this information for pricing in order to get the right price point when it comes to quoting. Okay. So, I mean, in summary, I mean, it's maybe for you this sounds a bit, however it sounds, but for us as a company, we are a small family-owned company which have nearly 3,000 employees and have a total revenue of 500 million per year. These changes are fundamental, because at the moment still our sales force or sales reps, they love the ERP system, and they love to getting a fixed discount for everything of our products. Just to let you know, we have, I do think 200 different product families. In total, we have more than 300 items in our ERP system, 3 million items in our ERP system. So with a fixed discount, we were never on the right price. Either we were too high or too low, but they still loved the system. And we took them away from that, and we pushed them into CRM, into CPQ. And so for them it's really new, and some of them are still struggling, but we are still on the learning curve. And further, what I forgot to mention is the first 3 slides, this Homer Simpson, Mr. Spock. I mean, our sales reps are all Homer Simpsons as well. So, and what we did is, even with some 3 elements we implemented in the CPQ, we steer them as well. I tried to manipulate my own sales reps in order, let's say, to get the maximum out of it. So even we using internally this behavioral pricing approach towards our own sales reps. And of course, what we did is as well, we make a training in order to get them aware that our customer is not a Mr. Spock, that our customer is a Homer Simpson. Because even, and this is the point, if you have a good, on our customer side, the sales, the purchase department, they guys are trained as well, and they know as well about that situation. And in order to get our own sales reps on the same level, like the purchase department of our customers, is a good advantage.